Hi, Andy's back again. After that last deep dive into renting fake dads, I thought I'd seen the peak of Japanese subcultures. But then Arumi, my unofficial guide to everything only in Japan, tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Andy, you look stressed. You need a professional nap." She was talking about Soine-ya, which literally translates to sleep together shop. These are basically Cuddle Cafes. In Japan's major cities, Cuddle Cafes have become a multi-million yen industry. Surveys show that nearly 30% of young Japanese adults report feeling touch-starved, and these cafes have a 95% safety rating because they have stricter rules than a high school library. Shocking? You bet. Cozy? Definitely. A little awkward for an American guy who values his personal bubble? Oh, absolutely. Harumi explained that in a world where everyone is working 80 hours a week and staring at screens, sometimes you just need the warmth of another human without the drama of a relationship. Now, let's head into the soft, pillowy world of Cuddle Cafes. But first, here's what today's episode will reveal. First, I'll explain what a Cuddle Cafe actually is, and how Harumi convinced me to walk through the door. Next, we'll look at the menu of affection. Yes, there's a literal menu for things like arm pillows and eye contact. Then, I'll break down the strict rules and safety measures that keep these places from getting weird. After that, I'll share my personal and very clumsy experience trying to nap with a stranger. And finally, we'll talk about the loneliness epidemic and why these cafes might actually be a genius solution for a stressed out world. All right, let's get comfy. So there I was, mid-finals week, looking like a zombie. Harumi looks at me and says, "Andy, you need a Soine-ya." I'm like, "A what now?" She explains that a Cuddle Cafe is a place where you pay for non-sexual physical contact. It's not a date, and it's definitely not what you're thinking. It's literally just sitting or lying next to someone. To help my confused American brain, Harumi used this analogy. It's like a cat cafe, but instead of petting a tabby, you're just sharing a blanket with a person who is paid to be nice to you. Think of it like a human weighted blanket. You know how those heavy blankets make you feel safe and calm? That's the goal here. In Japan, the culture of enryo, restraint, means people don't usually hug their friends or even their parents very often. Harumi told me that some people go years without a simple pat on the back. So these cafes provide skinship, a Japanese English word for the bond created through physical touch. I was skeptical. I'm from the land of 6-foot personal space, but Harumi insisted it was the ultimate stress reliever. But before I could say yes, I had to see the menu. And man, that menu is something else. Let's check out the options next. When we walked in, the vibe was like a high-end spa. Dim lights, soft music, and the smell of lavender. Then they handed me the service menu. Firstly, you pay a membership fee and a base rate for time, usually around 3,000 yen for 20 minutes. Secondly, you get to the optional extras. This is where it gets hilarious and oddly specific. You can pay extra for the arm pillow, 1,000 yen. You sleep on the staff's arm. The reverse arm pillow, 1,000 yen, they sleep on your arm. The staring contest, 1,000 yen for 1 minute, you just look into each other's eyes. The hair stroking, 1,000 yen, exactly what it sounds like. The lap pillow, 2,000 yen, the gold standard of Japanese comfort. Harumi told me the lap pillow is a huge cultural thing in Japan. It's called hizamakura, and it's supposed to remind you of your childhood when your mom would let you rest your head on her lap. Another option is changing clothes. No, not like that. You can pay for the staff to wear a specific outfit, like a school uniform or pajamas, to make the vibe more nostalgic. I looked at Harumi and asked, "People actually pay for a 1-minute staring contest?" She nodded solemnly. Andy, sometimes a minute of being seen is better than an hour of being ignored. Deep, right? But also, I was terrified of the awkwardness. However, Harumi assured me that the rules are what make it work. Let's look at how they keep things professional next. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Andy, this sounds sketchy. But honestly, it's the most regulated thing I've ever seen. Step 1. The contract. Before you even see a room, you sign a paper agreeing to the no-touch zones. Basically, you can only touch the area specified in your package. Step 2. The visibility. Most of these places have open booths or curtains that don't fully close. There are cameras and security guards everywhere. It's safer than a bank vault. Step 3. The hygiene. You have to use hand sanitizer, and sometimes you even have to change into fresh socks provided by the cafe. Japan takes cleanliness as seriously as a sport. Step 4. The communication. The staff are trained to talk to you if you want, or stay silent if you just want to pass out. They are professional listeners. Harumi explained that the rules are there to protect the healing, iyashi atmosphere. If anyone breaks a rule, they are kicked out and banned for life. No warnings. It's like a library for your body. You go there to be quiet, follow the rules, and leave feeling refreshed. So, did I actually do it? Yep, and it was the most awkward 20 minutes of my life. At first. Let's get into my personal experience next. So Harumi waits in the lobby while I'm led to a small curtained area. My cuddle partner was a very nice girl named Yuki. She bowed, I bowed and hit my head on the curtain rod, classic Andy, and we sat on a giant memory foam mat. Firstly, the silence was deafening. I didn't know where to put my hands. I felt like a giant, clumsy American bear in a room full of porcelain. Secondly, I opted for the simple cuddle. We just lay side by side, not even touching at first. Then Yuki started talking. She asked about my studies, my home in the States, and why I looked so tired. Her voice was so calm, it was like listening to a white noise machine. Next, I tried the arm pillow. I put my head on her arm. At first, I was thinking, I am paying for this. This is weird. My mom would be so confused. But after 5 minutes, my heart rate actually slowed down. I stopped thinking about my Japanese history exam. I felt safe. It's a weird biological hack. When humans touch, our brains release oxytocin, the cuddle hormone. It's like a natural anti-anxiety med. When the timer went off, a soft tinkling bell, I actually didn't want to leave. I felt like I just had an 8-hour sleep in 20 minutes. I walked out to the lobby and Harumi was smirking. See, you don't look like a zombie anymore. She was right, but it made me wonder, why do we need this? Let's wrap it up with the big picture.
So, what's the takeaway from my afternoon at Soine-ya? Firstly, it's a massive sign of the loneliness epidemic. In a high-pressure society like Japan, people are so busy being productive that they forget to be human. Secondly, it shows that physical touch is a basic human need, just like food or water. If you don't get it, your brain starts to get hungry and stressed. Thirdly, it proves that Japan is light years ahead in creating safe spaces for weird problems. Instead of letting people suffer in silence, they built a cafe for it. Harumi told me that for many of her friends, the Cuddle Cafe is a lifeline. It's a place where they don't have to be a perfect employee or a perfect daughter. They can just be a person who needs a nap. Is it a bit strange to pay for it? Maybe. But as Harumi says, we pay for food we didn't cook, and we pay for cars we didn't build. Why not pay for the comfort we can't find? It's a fascinating, soft, and slightly blurry look at what it means to be human in the 21st century. And speaking of being human, if you think paying for a nap is the peak of Japanese services, you haven't seen anything yet. because in the next episode, Harumi is taking me to a place where you don't just rent a family or a cuddle, you rent a professional apology agent to say sorry for you when you've messed up big time. You're definitely going to want to hear how that conversation goes.